All right, I think we're on.
Yes, we are.
What's up, guys? See if I can find it on mine. There we go. What's up, guys? Oh, that's loud. Caleb, Karen, how are you guys doing?
Evening, guys.
We're waiting for Stephen to get here. And he said he might not be here until around 7:40. So we can just chit chat till then. If anybody stops in, they'll just think we're having a good time. Because we are. And you know us, we don't stand on Baymax. That's perfect. That's what we should nickname him. We'll just start calling him Baymax.
Hey, Karen.
Karen, I love that Tigger costume. That was awesome. And I'm going to, and I think I'd have to get it off my other computer, but I believe we had the twins were Winnie the Pooh and Tigger one year. But I'm going to remind everybody during the show, but Thursday night, Andrew is going to be on VHS Club podcast. Andrew Prince.
Oh, cool.
No, you're doing it, Andrew. Good luck.
I'm like, did I forget something? For the first time. Hey, there's Andrew Prince. Hey, buddy.
Hey, we were speak
Live
his name
from
and he
Ohio.
appears.
It's a little cold up there, isn't it?
It's getting chilly here.
Yeah, here too.
I like it. I like a little bit of cold. I play with these lights all the time. I never know what looks good. I know. I wish I had. I wish I could get those pictures faster, but I would have to literally go on my other computer and pull them off. But I'll do it. I'll post them later because it's pretty cute, if I do say so myself. I'm a little tired. We had to run. I had to run up and get my my oldest from school and bring them home, and then my wife took them back. Yeah, I can't either, Andrew. Caleb, I'm looking forward to it. Mary Poppins is probably my favorite.
That's my
Disney
favorite Disney
movie. If I really was forced to pick one, I will say this, and this is why you should join the chat, because then you can hear how I really feel. My wife wanted to watch Coco the other night. So we fired that up, and I haven't watched it in a while. I know I love it, but I'd forgotten how good that movie was. And frankly, and just my opinion, not meant to, I need to get an extension for this. This drives me nuts. Not to step on anyone's feelings. We all love different things. But compared to like Elio, Coco was light years better. I mean, it is such a better movie.
I haven't seen Elio yet.
It's not bad.
I have seen Coco, and I love that movie.
Elio or Elia, it's worth watching. It's a good movie. It's cute and it's fun and I like it. I have no problems with it until I compare it to another Pixar film. And then it's like, holy moly, so much better. Like it almost makes, I shouldn't say that. It's different. And it was the same director starting out. And I think he left, during the production, but that's how you know you're doing too much Disney stuff, when you start knowing who directors are and what they were doing when they were going on. I try to keep it a little kind of light around here, because there's so much I don't know and so much I don't remember. Yeah, and that's the thing. Please don't think that I'm saying it's a bad movie. The only thing that I really hate that Disney's done, Andrew, is the lobby of that Polynesian hotel. They ruined that. And I'll never forgive them until they put it back the way it was. But actually, I posted something about that today. I posted the first time we stayed on property. The first time we stayed on property was my 40th birthday, and my wife got me one night at the Contemporary Hotel. And they upgraded us to Parkview from Garden Wing, and it was awesome. And so the next year, I told them we were going to stay at Riverside because we couldn't afford anything else, and secretly I booked the Polynesian. And then when we went through, remember, and you used to have to go through the gate to get into the Polynesian. So right before we did that, I had this Polynesian playlist, and I hit play. And my wife just looked over at me like that. And she's like, "What are you doing?" Because I had to tell them at the gate we were going in. And so we went and stayed there. And when we pulled up, it was literally, maybe I can bring it up since I'm sitting here. It'll be fun to play with my toys here, my Ecamm toys. There you go. That's how we got to our room.
Oh yeah.
Like they rolled up, we checked in the portico, right? Like didn't even go to the front desk. I mean, we're not staying club level or anything. It was just, I mean, it was a theme park view, so it was a good room. But they came up, they checked us in at the car, did everything, and then took our luggage to the room on that golf cart, and it was awesome. And
we stayed at Grand Floridian. My wife and I did one time, and it was just a Thursday morning. We got there. It's probably 11 o'clock when we rolled in. And I don't know if they just didn't have enough cars coming through, but like 3 bellmen opened up our doors and got the luggage out. Next thing you know, we're inside. We're like, what happened? That's never happened like that before. But that was probably the most magical part about the whole stay. Because when we went inside, the girl at the desk was like, we're bothering her. And I'm thinking, I spent a lot of money to stay here, and you've got a bad attitude.
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but my buddy, and he should have talked to me more, but he booked one of the bungalows, and had never been to the Polynesian. He walked up, so he's got, if not the most expensive, arguably one of the most expensive rooms at the Polynesian. And they were like, "Okay, here's your key. Have fun." And he's like, "I've never been here before. Where do I go?" I mean, and then I'd lied to him. I thought if you were in the bungalows, you could use the club level stuff.
I did too.
Nope. That was not available to them.
Wow.
I mean, they had beer and stuff and Mickey bars in the room. It's still awesome. Personally, I'm glad I didn't splurge on one of those. I wasn't blown away by that. I mean, it's cool. And it was, I love that I got to stay there, but it's not something like, if you've never stayed there, you're not really missing out.
We tried to splurge at the Copper Creek cabins because those look real cool with the screened-in back porch, and they have the same. But they were I think they said they were booked 3 years out.
Wow.
Because they're DVC.
So we tried to book, I don't even know what date it is. It's the 4th. So 10 days from now, right? Roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 days from now. There are only 2 hotels on property available.
Wow.
2. It was like Coronado and Contemporary. Everything else was booked up. Well, see, and this is the thing, Karen, like, yeah, I love my maps, and I love checking in. Now, look, when I go down by myself, and like if I'm staying at if and I'm staying like at All Star or something, then that's fine. Pull up to your room, go to your room, no big deal. But when you're on vacation, I want someone to talk to me. I like people.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I enjoy the whole check-in process instead of here's your room number, have fun, we'll see you when you check out. I don't
Yeah,
love
that was
that.
a weird experience for us because we're like, okay, is this going to work? Are we at the right room? We're going to walk in somebody else's room?
And I have
Yeah,
had it
we enjoyed it.
where I've gotten to the room and the key didn't work.
We've had that happen before as well. Like we stayed at Old Key West October last year and checked in at the desk, and a fellow had a Carolina Gamecocks shirt on, and he was from South Carolina, and we talked for about 10, 15 minutes, but it was that good interaction that you're talking about that, kind of sets your trip. But like when we went to the desk at Grand Floridian, it was just like we were bothering her to check in, and it was just like, I get it, it's a job, but as they say, you're putting on a show. You got to put your cast face on.
I agree. I think I just like it. I like going in the lobbies. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't love like Saratoga or Key West is because I really like I like the resort atmosphere, and I
I
feel
don't
like
care for the Riviera lobby. It's too small.
my oldest kid hates that hotel. So
If I
it
never stayed there again, I'd be fine. I don't care for it.
there there are other DVC lobbies that are similar, right? So it's not unusual. There are other small lobbied hotels. I thought that we're being really critical tonight. I don't know why. This,
Mm,
I guess, because
full
Steven's
moon
late.
tomorrow.
That's right. Um, the staircase going down, only one person can go down it. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's or someone can't come up and go down at the same time. My hair looks weird.
Yeah, but you can go to Kidani Village, and it's a small, adaptation of Jumbo House, but it's a nice setup. I couldn't, I don't know. I feel like it was rushed.
uh, and Chris says I miss checking in at Port Orleans and receiving an issue of the Saskatchewan Times. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
stuff like that is just awesome
Mm-hmm.
and extra and unnecessary and amazing. Hey, you need to DM me your address too so I can send you a coffee mug. I owe you a coffee mug. It's just going to say BMD on it instead of but mostly Disney. Stupid copyright. Um, yeah, and as a shareholder, I appreciate what they're doing and why they're doing it. I mean, look at storage units. Like, now it's you can call ahead of time, tell them what you want. You walk up, press a button, they give you a key. Maybe there's someone in the office, maybe there's not. But it's weird. It's weird at Disney because like you said, it's a show and they need to keep
And
putting on the show.
I miss calling to make your reservations because you get to listen to the music. You're waiting. You're excited. And the person other than the line, if they're doing doing like they're supposed to, they're excited for you, and you're talking to them and talking about old trips and what you're planning on doing. And now it's drop an email to my friend that books Disney vacations. Here's the days I want to go. You got my credit card. Go with it.
Well, you could always call Karen and she can plan your trip
Yes,
for you.
that is true.
I'm sure Karen will put some Disney music on in the background. I am not going to do any more travel after the end of this year. It's too
How
much.
about next
No, I mean book it for MEI.
year? Mm-hmm.
I can't keep. I don't have time. I keep having to pay bills with my real job, and I just don't have time to start another business. And I agree. It's these little extra things that Disney's always done. You know, I and that's a good example. Like, and why my oldest hates the Riviera so much. So I thought the pool area was nice. I thought being outside was good. My room was gorgeous. The Topolino's is insane.
Mm-hmm.
That rooftop area is great, but it's a high-end hotel that on the outside is a big box with a fancy awning. Like it's not the same caliber as any of them, and that's kind of the problem I think I have, even though with Walulu Bar and Grill, I'll make an exception for the Polynesian Tower. But now I feel like they're building another tower at Wilderness that looks very similar.
Oh, the lakeside?
Mm-hmm.
Look very, very similar.
I'll wait. But the artwork kind of looks the same with some minor touches.
Very much the same.
Yeah. Part of going over to Wilderness, even just to eat or whatever, is that you are gone, right? Like you are
absolutely.
You are literally in the wilderness. It is such an escape area.
When you turn off World Drive,
mm-hmm.
you go through the sign, you're like, am I in Oregon or Florida?
And I was watching Adam the Woo the other day, and he was over there for Halloween and went to see the horses. And you look back now over Pioneer Hall, and that thing is just looming up behind it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that looks horrible.
But again, I'm not going to criticize something I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
I like the rooms at the new Polynesian Tower. I think they're pretty, even though they're not as kind of audacious as the old hotel. I don't know. I mean, look, for me, I would have just made more of the same. Match the roof line, even if it's taller, so you can get more people in there.
Well, the original concept drawing, it looked a lot like their original buildings.
It seems like you really could have done that and continued it around. I mean, look, some Disney folks are going to complain about something, right? We're going to find some reason we hate everything new. I was thinking about that too, because I posted something about the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now Jules Verne is gone. Mark Twain is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But it does. I mean, and you're right, Karen. It does look like something you would see in Oahu. And it looks like that shoreline, but I kind of like the idea that it was a fictional Polynesia that never existed.
Mm-hmm. Did you see another person passed away? It's 4 in 1 month.
Oh, my buddy was talking about that. And he was saying that there was a like, not coveted, that's the wrong word, but a suicide spot at the Contemporary, and I've never heard that before.
Neither have I. Sad that somebody would do that, but I just thought it was odd. You hear every now and then a freak accident or something like that, but
yeah,
4 in 1 month is kind of like, wow.
Yeah, it happens, right? I'm looking up to see how many ghosts there are at Disney.
Ghost?
I didn't want to say
999.
Right? There's a list of incidents on Wikipedia.
Ooh.
It's still a bummer that the one on the monorail, you can't ride in the front anymore because of that.
Yeah.
Primeval Whirl. But these are just things that happen.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of the 3-2-1 rule at Disney?
3-2-1? No.
It's a simple planning strategy for a less overwhelming park day. 3 must-do rides, 2 non-ride experiences, and 1 planned dining option.
Hmm.
I mean, that does sound relaxing. I don't know. I can't find what I was
I'm
looking
still
for.
waiting for old paper fast passes. So
Did they? Andrew Prince says they thinks they brought back Riding in the Front in Orlando.
oh,
I haven't seen that.
so my wife was cleaning out. Oh, wrong direction. Some tickets that she had from 1991, I think 92. So I went back and looked. All three park passport in 1992 was $60.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
She's gonna throw them away. I was like, no, give me those. Add it to the collection.
Is there a price where you'd stop going?
Good question. I don't know.
Like,
I would say if it got north of 250 a person a day, probably.
I feel like I've done that a lot with other things. Like
Well,
said, oh,
my wife was talking to a friend of ours that he's a big hunter, and he goes all over the world, and he goes been to Alaska and South America and all over the United States and other places. You know, it's food, board, room. It's $4,000 to go on a hunt if that's what you want to do.
wow.
And I'm like, well, you know, everything is pricey. We all know that. But it's just, you know, you hear, oh, somebody's going to hunt and it can't be that bad. It's $4,000. That doesn't include when you shoot something, you got to have it processed and sent back home, and that's on top of all that, and custom fees, and so it's all about the same price when you think about it. People freak out about it because it's, you know, they've seen the prices increase every year. And I remember first time I went in '98, ticket to Magic Kingdom was $35, I think.
What's up, buddy?
Hear anyone?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can't hear anything. I don't know if
Huh.
I'm mute or not.
We can hear you.
Yeah, you.
Hear me, but I can't hear you.
Well, that's not going to make much for it's going to be a tough show.
Anything on my end? No. Let's see.
Just talk for 45 minutes and we'll let you know when you're done.
I wonder if it's. Am I moving it?
The joys of technology.
I know, right?
One day it works, the next day it doesn't.
Oh, weird. Okay. I think I'm hearing you from my computer speakers and not through my.
That's weird. Can you
Yeah,
hear
that's
us?
very weird. Okay,
Really,
hold on.
really?
Well, I can hear you through my speakers. I don't know why I can't hear you through my headphones.
Because technology's hard.
Let's see. What if I go to my settings? This is what happens when you get a new desktop and you're still kind of playing around with things. It's definitely the technology. Well, me not experimenting enough with the technology. Hold on.
That's what we're here for.
Let's see.
Don't say anything weird though, because you are live. Not that you were going to, but we just haven't started the podcast yet. We're just sitting around chit chatting.
How have y'all been? It's been a while. Andrew, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's see. What settings am I supposed to get to? Sound, perhaps?
Maybe.
And then go to output. Maybe that's what it is. Let's try this. Hey, okay, I can hear you through my headphones. This is great.
That works now.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Good. We're good.
Yeah, new computers are always. Although the worst is when you haven't gotten a new computer and something changes and you didn't do it. That
Yeah.
drives me insane. Like I haven't changed anything, I haven't touched anything, and yet somehow everything's absolutely different.
Okay, yeah. It's taken a while to get here. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, no. And just like in terms of getting like my business back on track and everything leading up to this, and like finally getting my own office in the house, as opposed to like last time we were talking, I was recording out of our living room in the apartment, which I wish I took pictures before we had moved out, but it was
Right.
a janky setup, but it was fun and it looked good, and I was just happy to get on air.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. I'm happy every
So.
time this works because I feel like I feel like I want to play with things like using Ecamm, and I'll go around and touch things and change things, and the next thing I know, everything I did is absolutely gone.
Yeah, it's like once you find something, you're like, don't touch it. Just leave it alone.
How I feel every single week. I'm like, no, please don't do it. Because I keep wanting to make different things. Because I mean, you've got to see that didn't. Like it seems like it should always stay on there. I don't know which one I like better.
That background is really cool, though. I do like that a lot. I think
You know,
we had that last time.
Yeah, it's cool. It's my son's room. So he did the stuff up top is mine. I did put that in there, but the lightsabers are all his. And I'm afraid to touch anything, but I'll try. Actually, I think I can do it from over here just to play around and see. There's a way I can pan and tilt the camera. No, I can't find it. Anyway, over here is like his Lego collection and a big shelf with lights on it. But then
that's really cool.
I bought the laptop because he comes home like from college for like 2 months. So like his winter break is from Thanksgiving till like January 20th.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
And so he wants to be in here instead of sitting over here watching his dad podcast, which he pops in every now and again, but as a rule, he's not a fan. So
as a rule, his rule or your rule?
His. But out of the three, he probably is more supportive than anybody else. Karen's decided we're going to call you Baymax for the night. Maybe
I'm okay
longer.
with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. He's my spirit character for sure.
All right, well, let's get started.
Yeah,
hey guys, and welcome to the Mostly Disney podcast. I'm Tater, and with me, as always, is my buddy on the other end, Andrew.
Good evening.
How is Charleston, South Carolina?
It is nice and cool. We had some 40-degree mornings, but it's been a nice little change from the 90 degrees to 60 and 70, so we're loving it.
I like it when it cools down a little bit. I really do enjoy it. I like having fires. We go through about three cords of wood a year. So our typical MO is get home, make dinner, light a fire, and then watch TV. Tonight, we are honored to have back our buddy, Dr. Stephen, who is going to take care of all my aches and pains, of which there are many. How are you doing, man?
Good. It's good to see you both. I want to say I'm pretty jealous that you put on fires because, here in Florida, it's a chilly 56 degrees in the morning.
Ooh. Well, and so we do wood fires. When I bought the house, it had a gas stove or gas fireplace, and we had that taken out. So I was a Boy Scout. I like building the fire. My granddad did it. I like smelling the wood in the house and the dirt. I think when we move to Orlando, I will have to have some kind of electric fire or something. Maybe something that can change colors. Put that somewhere in the corner in the wall. But it is nice. It is cool on a chilly night. My house feels very summery in the summer and very wintry in the winter, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm seeing Karen in the chat say we do have 40-degree days. That is completely true. And do you mind if I share a quick story?
No, because that's what we do.
So in writing my book and in learning a lot more about how to have, how to walk effortlessly and have a lot less pain on your Disney vacation, a lot of it was centered around how you get through the parks in different types of weather. And of course, everyone knows that in Orlando it gets really hot and humid in the summer. But in the winter, it's it's slightly different because like if you're from California, or even if you're from a snowy state like Colorado or up in the Northeast, like you're used to either cold, dry winters or cold, snowy winters. In Florida, because of the humidity makes the hot temperatures feel hotter, but it also makes the colder temperatures feel colder. And
Oh.
even if you sweat a little bit in the daytime in Florida when it's colder, that your body heat gets absorbed, or it gets evaporates into the atmosphere quicker, making you feel even colder. So just because it's 50 or even 40 doesn't necessarily mean it feels 40. It might feel like 5 to 10 degrees cooler. So there was one time I went on, I forget what the tour is called, but it's the one in Animal Kingdom, and you get to walk over the rickety looking bridge, on Kilimanjaro Safaris. And it was in November. My wife and I went for our anniversary, and I brought a sweatshirt and shorts, thinking it's going to be active, and a sweatshirt would be nice to just stay a little warm. We went at like 9 in the morning though, and that was a big mistake. I should have worn pants. It was so cold. I was shivering. Like, man, don't underestimate the cold in Florida. And I know that's silly to hear, but trust me, don't get caught out in the cold in shorts and a t-shirt, even though a lot of locals wear that in the middle of winter here.
No, and it's hard. And like as I get older, like I don't know why as a kid I thought I should wear shorts in the snow. I've skied in shorts, all this dumb stuff. And then once I discovered scarves, I'm like, why didn't I wear a scarf my whole life? My neck is so comfortable. Why did I torture myself all these years? And we do that to ourselves, right? We constantly torture ourselves for no reason at all.
Kind of
Like,
just strongman it, yeah.
and it's so dumb because no one cares, right? No one's looking. We do the same thing in the parks, right? Uncomfortable shoes, don't take care of blisters. We don't get ready. You know, we sit on our butts all year and then go do 30,000 steps and wonder why. What a perfect segue. Look, although I will, and we're a little ADD around here, but Tony, it's hot right here. And so Tony lives in Alaska, and last week joined us from Alaska, and this week is waiting for Luminous, which is pretty cool.
Jealous. Great show.
Yeah.
Great
And there you
show.
go. And then normally they're wearing shorts, 20 below.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how your body adapts to different temperatures, right? I'm used to like 30-degree weather in California, and coming out here now it's like 50, 60 degrees is a little cold for me. That's
How long have you been here?
About 2 years, 2 years and change now.
Well, I guess in case people weren't here last time, and you should go back and listen to that show as well. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and your Disney origin story and what you do now, which is awesome.
Yeah, so I admittedly am not like a Disney kid. I didn't really grow up with Disney. I grew up very much more of a Pixar kid. I think we talked about that last time, but I was into all things Pixar. I grew up with Andy. I think Andy and I graduated high school the same year,
Cool.
which I absolutely love. Toy Stories, I hold very near and dear to my heart. My first time at Disney World was with my now wife back in 2018. And the first time we went there, we only spent like a day or two. But the second time we went there with family, we went for I think like 4 or 5 days, almost a week. And coming out of that trip, I was like, there's no way that people can handle walking all this time, like 5 days, 6 days on 20 to 30,000 steps. I finished that vacation, like my feet were hurting. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping enough. And like I come from an endurance sports background. So I walked away from that and thinking like, I run a lot, I bike a lot, I hit the gym. Like, why the heck am I still hurting at the end of the day? So I set out to figure out like how to have a pain-free Disney vacation. And along the way, I went to physical therapy school and learned a lot about orthopedics and studying how like muscles and tendons and how the entire body works and how to treat, you know, general aches and pains. And during physical therapy school, I was living in Denver at the time, but my wife and I would go to Disney World every now and then, and you know, that would be my like playing grounds to experiment, like what works, what doesn't work, using my physical therapy knowledge to find a process that works. So in the end, I started writing a blog on how, like, basically documenting my journey, figuring out how to have a pain-free vacation. A blog eventually turned into a book, which is called Disney Ready, Your Pain-Free Park Survival Guide. And I also have a podcast now called Happily Ever Active Podcast. And now I get to talk to really cool people like you, Sean and Andrew, about all this stuff. So I'm really here to I just want you, the listener, to have a pain-free vacation, to feel like you can walk effortlessly, have the freedom to roam the parks and go wherever you want. You know, if that means going from like Space Mountain all the way to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, like all the way across Magic Kingdom and back. You know, I want you to have that freedom.
Well, and let's start with feet, right? And so Kira says she swapped cute shoes in the parks for good, you know, yeah, and that's true. Like what we can do in our 20s doesn't always work in our 30s and 40s, right? You know, I mean, and I'm finding that now. So I went, well, we were at Momentum a couple weekends ago, and right. I went over one night, and I just got, look, I keep talking about this, but it's what happened. But I just gotten out of the hospital, and I had some edema. Is that right? Swelling? Is that what?
Yep. Swelling. Okay. Was it mostly in the legs?
Mm-hmm. Well, I had it really in the hospital from waist down, and they gave me some diuretics, just water. It was just fluid. But my shoes don't fit right. My flip-flops didn't fit right. And I really kind of hobbled through the park. And I was thinking about you the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And I really didn't bring tennis shoes, but my feet were so fat, I'm not sure they would have fit in them anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
But and we did talk about this last time, but I have always done the parks in flip-flops. I have tennis shoes. Actually, I went to my physical therapy the first time in flip-flops, and they're like, what's wrong with you? You know, we're going to work out. I'm like, I forget this is what I wear. And so how important is your footwear at the parks? Like in your list of what you found, I know you said I could wear flip-flops last time, but
yeah. So it's high enough on the list to really consider what you're going to wear, because, you know, you're on your feet 8, 10, 12 hours a day for 5, 6, 7 days of the week. So it's pretty high up on that list. Now, is it on the top of the list? Not necessarily, because who wears the shoes? You do, your body does, your feet are in those shoes. And really, in the end, it's all about making sure that your body can handle the type of stress that you're going to be putting your body through when you're in the parks. Now, that being said, in terms of footwear, you know, the best advice to give in terms of what to wear at the parks is wear what's most comfortable for you. So for you, Sean, wearing flip-flops is totally fine, because you've been wearing flip-flops forever, right? Oh. Your feet have grown accustomed to wearing those flip-flops. You're comfortable walking in them all day. You walk in them all the time. So your feet, your body, like your feet, and then also your knees, your hips, your back, all the way up, have grown accustomed to and gotten used to how it feels to walk in flip-flops all day. Now, if you took someone that normally wears shoes all the time, and they're comfortable in shoes, walking in shoes, working out in shoes, and then you put them in flip-flops and then you have them walk at Disney all day, that's a very different story, right? To go from one end of the spectrum where you have these nice, comfy, cushy, soft, or comfortable, nice, comfy, cushy shoes, to go from that to flip-flops where, you know, you don't have as much cushion. You have some support, but not as much support as you do with shoes. It's a very different type of footwear that you're going to be going into, and that drastic change is usually what leads to pain or injury.
Well, and maybe that's like what Kira's saying too, is I'm not saying I do this, but we plan little outfits that we have for the parks, and we want to look amazing in those PhotoPass pictures. And so we get, you know, some Mickey Mouse Vans because that's what we think looks cool, and then put them on and then hate them because they don't fit right. You not wearing them in before you go. It's like, it's like hiking. I mean, I've been on hiking trips that were less than Disney, right? I mean, it's unbelievable how much walking there is there. The one day I do wear shoes though is Epcot. Like I feel like I walk more at Epcot than any other park.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's definitely one of the bigger parks compared to the other three. But of course, walking around World Showcases, which is what everyone loves to do. That's like a mile and some change just around World Showcase Lagoon, and people tend to go around more than once.
And if you listen, I'm not a good planner, so I never get like a good, I'm always going over here and then back over here and then back to England and then I'm going back to Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we forgot something at the front, so we got to go back to the locker and get that and then shoot back over to England. And then and then you're trying to make it by a fast pass. Yep. No, and you're not called out. But Kira, you know what it did remind me of? It reminds me of the Modern Family. No, sorry, my dog's in here. It reminded me of the Modern Family where Gloria wears those high heels, and then he finally buys her the mini slippers, so she can walk comfortably because she's wearing those 5-inch heels. Okay, so let me know when I'm delving into secret territory because I want everybody to buy your book. But if shoes aren't number one, what's number one?
It's gotta be lower back.
What's that?
It says it's gotta be lower back. So I know mine kills me every time I go.
So, somewhat related, but like really number one is making sure that your body's ready for all of that stress that you're putting, you're going to be putting your body through when you're at the park. So that's making sure that you're prepared physically, that your body has been used to walking, that it's used to walking not necessarily 20 or 30,000 steps before going to the parks, but at least walking 10, maybe 12 or 15,000 steps if you have the time to, right? You want to build that resiliency of your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, and of course your cardiovascular system to make sure it can handle all that stress. Now, when I say the word stress, really the word stress just it describes whatever forces are being put upon your body that your body has to fight against. So, for example, walking is a stressor. Running is a stressor. Jumping is a stressor. But also, of course, annoying or loud crying children at the theme parks are also a stressor, right? There are different types of stressors. The stressors I'm talking about are the physical stressors that happen to your body when you're walking a lot. So back to physical preparedness. You want to really make sure that your body is physically prepared to walk in the parks, 15, 20, 30,000 steps a day. That means going on some sort of progressive walking program, which I do offer, some walking programs and also a 30-day walking challenge on my website at fitforthemagic.com. But progressively starting from whatever your walking level is, say that's 5,000 steps a day, and then progressing over time, over a few weeks or over a few months to trying to hit, 10, 12,000 steps a day to really make sure that one, like I said, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments are ready to handle that stress, but two, to also give time for your body to recover, to get used to being able to walk that much, and then also go to sleep, recover, and then do it again the next day.
Yeah, because we try, and as my kids get older, we used to take a full 7 to 9 days. Like that was our Disney trip, sometimes 10 if we could do it. And our whole plan was park day off, park day off, park day off. And our typical strategy is rope drop, maybe have lunch, come back to the hotel, take a nap, relax, go back for dinner, and at night. But these last couple of years, kids being off doing different things, we haven't been able to do the same thing. They maybe been a little shorter. So there's a lot more back-to-back, being up early, which starts to wear on me a little bit, Even those 7 o'clock trying to get into the momentum room early was like, gosh, do I really have to go? I got to get coffee. Oh my gosh, And I've and look again, I mean, I don't know. I have a microphone, so I'm gonna keep talking. It's after being in the hospital for 3 weeks, my body is very different right now. Like it's flabby and slow. My balance is so bad. It's weird. And the girl who's doing my physical therapy was saying you almost have to kind of retrain your mind to know where it is, which is really weird, but really interesting at the same time. So we're gonna go back here in a couple weeks, and I don't know if we're gonna do a park or not because see, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So Tony says right there, he's running back because he forgot to get his souvenir and pick it up. So you're in Epcot, you're over somewhere else. We're staying at Beach Club, so we got to go, and now you got to book back across the park and get back the whole time, which adds another 3,000 steps you weren't even planning on.
Exactly.
But I don't exercise much. I don't. I've never liked it. I played football in high school. I hated every minute of it. I don't like running. I did like bike riding. I did some mountain biking for a while. And I really am trying to force myself to walk the dog more just to get out of the house. I play golf.
Mm-hmm.
I go hit golf balls at the range. And when I'm doing that, I do build up a sweat because it's not just walking around. I mean, it's rapid fire. It's a little more, again, I'm not going to win any awards for it. And then I go to Disney and wonder why I'm so tired, and so almost crippled afterwards, right? We're out of breath, out of shape, can't stand up straight. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super hard, especially coming back from a major illness like what you had, right? So I spent a fair amount of time working in the acute care and hospitals. I also spend time working right now in a skilled nursing facility. So I see a lot of the same types of patient populations that you were around when you were in the hospital. The one statistic that I like to throw out is that for every day that you're in bed and not moving, you tend to lose 1 to 3% of muscle mass.
That's crazy.
Right. So,
Wow.
it adds up in the end. It doesn't necessarily compound to get like huge, but then it adds up in the end to where you leave the hospital after a week-long stay and you're like, what the heck just happened to me? That's why physical therapy, especially in the hospital, is so important to just get you early, like to get you moving as early as possible, because then that way your recovery time goes down. The amount of time you need to spend in the hospital goes down. And then your outcomes like down the line are just so much better just to start to move. Right. And in terms of where you are now, Sean, like with your upcoming trip, it's for you, my biggest advice for you. And then also one of the next biggest things that I would advise our listeners is learn to listen to your body. Right. The fact that you're considering, whether or not to visit a park or like to do multiple parks that's a very smart move, because then you're thinking, oh, is my body going to be able to handle walking all day? Do I need to take several rest breaks throughout the day? So knowing how much your body can handle in the days leading up to your trip is just as important as the preparation, which I think is more important than just the type of shoes you wear. But again, like those three things, listening to your body, having a program to work on to prepare, and shoes, like they're all up there for sure.
Well, and at least I don't have any ego tied up in it, right? And I'm lucky because I have an annual pass. So if we go do Epcot and it's just too much, I'm just going to sit down. I'm not ready for the jazzy yet, right? I mean, I don't want to be on the little cart. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just not. Maybe I do have a little ego. Like I'm just not quite ready to be there. But I would do it if I had to. Like I'd rather do that. I'd rather be the beep,
right.
beep, beep guy than not get to go to the park at all, right?
And that's all about that. That's all part of listening to your body too, right? If you actually do need the ECV, then by all means, right?
And so I'm teasing, but I'm getting closer to it, right? So I feel like I can own that a little bit and be okay with it. But it's true. I mean, and that was the thing. My wife obviously is much more concerned than I am. That's why she's better than me, and why I've started listening more to her. But that was the thing. He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" So I really ended up sending her, my son in. And I was like, I'll meet you guys for Tron, So I kind of slowly walked in, later and made it. But like inclines are still not my friend, right? Stairs hate me. My son
And
lives
there are
on
more
the.
inclines than you think at Disney World.
They
And they
really
sneak up
are.
on you, man. They sneak up
Oh
on
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to it before, and now I really see it.
Hmm.
So, and Kira brings up, this is a great question. So when you have a desk job, right? I mean, I'm at my desk a lot. I do get out but again, since I've been in the hospital, not to keep saying that, um, I'm not doing, like, I was pretty hands-on when I'd flip a house, right? I like to go in and paint. I
Yeah.
wish I'd gone into construction. It's, I'm not going to do it now. It's a little later than I want to do it, but I really love doing that stuff. And now I can't, because I still can't lift things the way I could before. It's very, very different. So a lot of my life now is sitting at a desk. We were just talking about desk chairs before this and spending a lot of money on them, because if I buy good mattresses because I sleep a lot, right? So if you're at a desk job, what are some things you can really do to get prepared if you don't have a ton of time to go walking and you're going for 7 days marathon Disney
Yeah.
trip?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question, especially, I still technically work at a desk because I have a lot of documenting to do as a physical therapist.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So one of the first things I would recommend is, if you can get a stand-up desk, definitely get a stand-up desk. Just spending more time on your feet is a start of a good preparation program to get to Disney. And it doesn't mean having to stand 8 hours a day, because if you are used to sitting 8 hours a day and then all of a sudden you're standing 8 hours a day, that's no different from going from comfortable shoes to flip-flops, right? Like we talked about earlier. If there's a big change in how much you're standing versus how much you're sitting, that could also lead to some issues in the end. So if you get a standing desk, start by maybe standing 10, 15 minutes at a time, and then sit for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. Over time, you can gradually increase the amount of time that you're standing and then decrease the amount of time that you're sitting. So eventually you'll be standing for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes at a time, and then 15 minutes of sitting, that sort of thing. A lot of people that work from home love to have their own walking pad. So if they have a stand-up desk, they'll get their own walking pad. That way they can work while they're walking, get some steps in. Another thing that I love to advise my patients and clients: take those take those stretch breaks, take those walking breaks whenever you can. You know, Technically by law, we always need to take some sort of like 15-minute break every 4 hours. No, 15-minute break every, I don't remember anymore. 15-minute break like every 2 to 3 hours, and then 30-minute break every 4 hours. But if you can take, a 5-minute break just to do a focused set of stretches every hour, that can help as well. That'll help at least break up the monotony of sitting all day at the desk.
Maybe what I need is like, Peloton had those videos for like going through the Swiss Alps. Maybe I need like Disney walking videos. I can put on some kind of augmented glasses and walk through Disney while I'm in the neighborhood. Because honestly, and if you're, for my friends who aren't Disney fans, it was motivating, right? Like I wanted to get out of bed. I didn't want to go to rehab. I wanted to go home, right? I'd been there for 3
Yeah.
weeks. I wanted to see my house. I would have gone, but I felt like as much as it got worse quickly, it got better quickly too, right? Like
Yeah.
there was one day and I had tubes sticking out of me. So for me to get out of bed, it took like 4 people. It was really tough. So I didn't do any therapy like the whole time. And then one day I could get up and go to a chair, and the next day I couldn't. Like it was just gone. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But on the reverse side, on Saturday morning, I'm kind of like, okay, give me a walker. I'm going to try to get to the bathroom. I made it. And then on Sunday, I got out of bed by myself. And then Monday morning, I walked out and forgot my walker. I left it behind, which was, so it does come back quickly, some of the stuff, but some of the stuff I feel like my arms are so flabby, and they never were before, even though, like I said, it's not like I hit the gym all the time. But it was such a big difference. And again,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think age plays a big role in it too, right? Generally, the younger you are, the quicker it is for us to bounce back and recover. You're clearly still on the younger side of things, and in ways that you can recover quicker. So that's great, and that's clearly worked in your favor to where you're back to where you are now, which is huge, man. That's huge.
Well, and I'm 54, right? Which is older than I feel, like I did fall over, and I don't mind telling this story, but we go to a buddy of mine's house for football quite a bit. And I love Pellegrino. I had a Pellegrino. I dropped my line, and in my head, I'm feeling really good. Everything's fine. And then I reached down for it and kind of lost my balance because I forgot that I'm not fine, right? And then I think about, the times that I walk through that park holding a kid with a kid on my shoulders, literally like strapping, another 140 pounds on me and still made it through. And it was great. Right. And yet, I don't want to walk to the mailbox because I'm like, oh, I have to go all the way out there. And yet I'll walk around these parks, if I had a little.
Go ahead.
No, you fire away.
No, I was thinking, you posted, what are we talking about tonight? And I was like, oh, feet. Because that's the first thing that pops in everybody's mind about when they go to Disney is my feet are killing me. But the biggest problem I have is like after day 4, and we'll go day at the park, rest day at the park. We'll go for a week and we'll split up, we'll have rest days. And I'll say, my lower back is killing me. And they're like, oh, you need to go get fitted for shoes. And I'm like, I've got a pair of Brooks on my feet that are $200. I don't know any better shoe I can get. And I'm thinking it's probably the 30-pound sack of the must-haves that we have to take that we use probably a quarter of. That's really causing the problem because I don't carry a rucksack every day to work. I do carry a book bag, but it's got a laptop and a notepad in it. So it's just like I hear what you're saying. It's a lot of prep. You don't think about it,
Right.
You got to prep yourself to go. And, I'm not the smallest guy in the world, so I'm trying to, lose weight so where my park experiences are a little bit better. Because, you're carrying a bag, you're carrying extra weight, and by the time we get done, I bring 2 pairs of shoes and rotate them out because I just feel it helps better.
Yeah, a rotation of shoes is huge. Like that's such a great strategy to have at the parks. And then, you painted the picture perfect, Andrew. Like if you're wearing a backpack full of your family's stuff, that's a lot different from wearing like a 1-pound crossbody bag at the parks and walking the same amount. So that could make the biggest difference for you, like in particular, for sure. So finding ways to try and distribute that weight, or even like renting a locker, distributing the weight doesn't make your family carry some of it too.
Well, I've also told now, do we have to take all this? Do we need this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
12 ponchos. We can only wear one at a time.
My wife is good at what she brings, but we over the years, once the kids were older, we pride ourselves. In fact, I thought about calling this podcast Guests Without Bags. Because that's what we shoot for, right?
You'd be a minimalist, yes.
Right. I don't even like having things in my pockets, much less like when I go in, even when I'm filming for my YouTube stuff, I've got one battery, the camera, and that's it. I bought a special pair of shorts because my camera fits in them nicely. I don't want anything in my hands. I don't like carrying a wallet, which is why I love the Magic Band. I like being unburdened in the park for sure. In my flip flops.
I'm always that dad that's going to get picked at a line and you got to go dump all your stuff out. And you're like, ugh. I'm like, let's just get. Now, when my kids were younger and Addison was a baby, we had everything we had to take. Okay, that's different. Now we're like, if you're carrying it, if you're bringing it, you're carrying it. I'm not carrying your stuff because you can carry your own stuff. You're old enough now, but now,
And no judgment. Like anything I make fun of, it's because I kid because I love. But we do, although I am trying to find a way to make fun of people who stop in the middle of the walkway without being mean. Like I don't.
I can't figure out a way not to be.
I definitely follow our buddy Lou. I want to be a choose the good guy, and I love the parks, and I'm always in a good mood. It's nothing that really brings me down, but I need to save the picture. In one of the videos I did for in Hollywood, I'm literally walking and this family sat down to have ice cream in the middle of the walkway. And it was like they measured it. It was dead center. And I'm in the video and I couldn't stop but go, what is it? I just couldn't believe it. And it happens all the time. And sometimes it's someone in a wheelchair and sometimes it's not. And sometimes it's just the chair and you don't know where the people have gone or they're backing up. It's just unbelievable. And look, I get culturally that some people walk on the wrong side of the sidewalk. Like in America, you're going this way, on the right and on the left, and it makes sense. But people from all over the world are, so that
Stop in
doesn't,
the middle of the walkway.
yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. Plus, sometimes I find myself doing that without thinking about it. So, those who live in glass houses, but the stopping just to check your phone in the middle of the walkway, I just want some term, because I want to tease them, but I don't want to be mean, right? And someday I'll find it. But
Yeah.
our last thing, I'm sorry, that we're making fun of is adults with backpacks, and I'm trying to figure out what they're carrying. I'm trying to get rid of everything I have. And if you have kids, do whatever you want. There's no rules. It's survival of the fittest.
Yeah,
save yourself.
absolutely.
Whatever you got to bring.
Man with a book bag.
That's right.
Yeah,
you could have a full-on book pack with a stroller full of stuff, whatever you want to do. But you see like couples, and they both have like camping backpacks on. And I'm just like, what do you have in there?
My sister's a runner. She does all these manic runs and all this stuff, but she's got her little hydration backpack. I'm like, okay, that's smart.
But that's different.
Smart.
Right.
Different.
I get that.
It's practical.
I'm like, okay, you need some sunscreen. I did see someone carrying out stuff they bought. So that's, maybe you bring a backpack in to take out your stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really funny.
In my book, I think I go over not only what I pack in my Parks bag, which is really just a small Spirit Jersey branded crossbody bag, very small. It's like a 7x4 bag. But I also go over what I pack in my suitcase for a full week at Disney. But like you said, you really don't need that much stuff in the park. And what I wanted to emphasize here, especially like with what we've talked about so far, is really the less stuff you have in your pocket and in your bag, the less things you have to think about, the less mental capacity or the less mental like effort you need to put into thinking about all those things and making sure that you have them and you didn't lose them, or like trying to figure out where they are. The less you think about it, the less stressed you'll feel, and the more energy you could put into having that magical time, right? Because in the end, the more stress that adds up to your day, whether it's physical or mental stress, right? The more it'll affect your nervous system, the more it'll affect your entire body, and that'll also affect how you recover at the end of the day and into the next day. And that might actually have a big effect on how you feel going into your next park day, whether or not it's pain or not. So
we were
big deal there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Karen, so again, Karen, you get to bring whatever you want into the park. You guys have tons of stuff you can bring, and like anybody can. I just think it's funny because it's so opposite. We hate what we don't understand. But I hadn't thought about that mental stress. I will say that when we were there for Momentum that Saturday night that I walked over originally to go to the Beacon Barrel and missed my reservation because I was walking too slow.
Bummer.
It's all right. They didn't charge me for it, so there's always a silver lining. Cool. But when I was walking out, it was like the worst of Disney I've ever seen, I think ever. It was really crowded up by Main Street. People were yelling at their spouses. Kids are crying. Everybody, not everybody, lots of miserable people. And this is exactly what like my friends hate about Disney. Like if an anti-Disney person was going to draw a picture of the park, that's what it was like. And I hadn't even thought about that mental stress. And I'm not going to try to quote it, but I just listened to a podcast with Sanjay Gupta. Is that right? Is that his name?
Gupta. Yeah.
And his wife apparently suffered from, you might really enjoy it, Stephen, because and he's written a book, but what he's done with pain, especially to try to get people off opiates and onto other ways of thinking. And, he'd done acupuncture and meditation and tried all these things. And he didn't tell us on the podcast what he'd figured out, but I guess his wife had some really crippling pain stuff. And now she moves without any medication at all. I'm going to have to buy the book and read it, because even though I don't really want to, because I take tramadol for my shoulders, right? Like, sure. Even with all the leg stuff that's going on right now, it's really small compared to what my back does. I actually am less comfortable sitting, and standing still. I'm much more comfortable walking. So if I'm moving, my pain disappears. It's when I slow down that it comes back. And I've tried needling and all kinds of, which I'll never do again. That was so horrible. I cried.
Yeah. It's interesting how the human body is so resilient and amazing, but also just different from person to person, right? What treatment might work for one person might not necessarily fully work for another person. Um, you know, like just because needling has worked for someone else doesn't mean it might work for you. So the fact, like, hearing you say that movement makes you feel better is such it like it's music to my ears, because movement is so important. But also, I I wanted to applaud that, but at the same time, I've heard other people also say that they feel so much better just not moving. So everyone's different, but also everyone also perceives things differently. And then just to kind of circle back, stress, um, and our lifestyle, and then also there's so many other factors that affect the way we perceive things, which also includes perceiving pain. So stress is one of them. Our relationship with our friends and our family are one of them. Our economic status is one of them. So all of these things affect how we feel pain and perceive pain too, which is a very interesting topic to go into. And I feel like Dr. Sanjay Gupta might have gone into that in his book too.
It was pretty fascinating. I mean, he talked about how pain has a memory, that
Yep.
your mind remembers this pain,
Yeah.
and even like a placebo working, right? Because placebos occasionally, I mean, sometimes they work, right? You take a pill and you feel better. And it's just sugar, so we know. And look, I worked in acute care in a psych ward, so I've seen medicine work. I know we need medicine, right? It happens. For me, the tramadol takes care of the joint pain, but doesn't help the muscular pain. I don't know why. Tylenol helps that. It's very strange. But yeah, sitting for long periods of time, like at Momentum, I had to get up and stand in the back a little bit, or lean way back. I just have to find these positions that work. Yeah, and we bought a hot tub because I'm with Karen. Being in hot water helps me a lot. I really like
I
warm
love
water.
I love the comments that you're giving, and then Karen, I love your comments too, because again, like I talked about earlier, everyone's different. So figuring out what works best for you is the most important thing, and experimenting what works best for you is so important, especially when you're going to the Disney parks, whether or not that's a warm bath or an Epsom salt bath or stretching or the right shoes or insoles. Like, there's so many different things that you can experiment with that you really need to take time to figure out what works best for you, between like 1, 2, maybe sometimes even 3 months in advance. That way, one, you figure out what works. Two, you can figure out what the process of doing that thing is. If it's an Epsom salt bath, you need to figure out the process of how to set it up and everything, so you don't have to think about it when you're at Disney to set it up, right? So like getting all that stuff down is so important before your Disney World trip. Yeah.
All right. So I've got 2 questions for you left. And if anyone in the chat has more, we can, I don't want to take all your time. Cause I feel like I appreciate you being so generous and coming on, but it's I could talk forever. My wife will tell you that. So how about on the post end of the day, right? Like we talk about prepping for the trip.
Yeah.
But what do we do? Like, okay, you've been to the park, it's 9:00. And let's say maybe you're not getting up and, at 6 a.m. to rope drop the next day. So what do you do at the end of the day to wind down to feel better?
Yeah, there's always some sort of stretching routine I like to do. So generally in the mornings, I like to do what's called an active warm up, where I'm actively moving through my different ranges of motion from my different joints. In the evening, I like to focus on what's called like a static stretch or some sort of cool down stretch. So that usually means something like holding a certain position for a specific amount of time, usually like 45 seconds to a minute. So if you're thinking like a stretch that a lot of people would probably know is like a quad stretch, where you're standing and you're bringing your heel as close to your butt as you can and holding that for a minute. You're feeling that nice stretch at the front of your thigh, or the runner stretch, or a calf stretch, where you're allowing that calf to stretch, and again, you're holding it for a minute. So I have some sort of stretching routine that personally I've practiced and I know works well for me. I have a long list of stretches that you can definitely do. That's in my book, Disney Ready. But first thing first, some sort of cool down stretch, which I love to do like waiting for Disney transportation, or if I'm in the monorail, I'll stretch. Even if I'm sitting in the bus, I'll stretch, and then I'll do a little bit of stretching after showering, because after showering, my body's nice and warm from the warm water I use. So that'll help relax those muscles and calm everything down. So, stretching in the end of the day is one big thing. The other big thing I like to do is practice my nightly routine. Now, my nightly routine is going to be a lot different from your nightly routine. Really, in the end, it's doing what works best for you. And then also, like I said earlier, practicing that routine long enough before your trip so that it becomes just second nature. It's less to think about. You don't have to worry about, am I doing like step one, step two, step three in my nightly routine? You don't have to think about it. You just do it. So for me personally, I'll shower, I'll stretch, I'll make sure I have a book to read before I'm going to bed. I'm dimming the lights. That way my body is preparing to go to sleep, right? Because if the lights are on, that's signaling your body that it's time to wake up. But if you're dimming the lights or getting the lights lower, that's signaling your body that it's time to go to sleep soon. I'll sit in bed while I'm reading the book. Sitting up, I normally don't lay down to read the book, otherwise I fall asleep reading.
Right.
Uh, and then from there, it's really all about making sure that my environment is ideal for me to go to sleep. So I mentioned dimming the lights or keeping the lights low. Once I'm ready to go to sleep, I want to make sure that everything is as dark as possible. So I close the curtains in the room. I make sure the light that's coming from the alarm clock is completely covered. Bathroom lights are off. I make sure that the temperature is at a comfortable temperature for me personally. Usually that's somewhere on the cooler side, right in the low 70s, upper 60s.
I
I
was just
tend to
going to
go a
ask.
little warmer. It's different for different people, but it tends to be around that range. So yeah, to recap, stretching, nightly routine. Those are the big things that I practice.
It's amazing. So doing this physical therapy, the level of stretching I'm doing, and it really does work, right? Like I thought they'd have me lifting weights, and really it's been a very small part of what they've done. A lot of resistance bands and that kind of stuff. But the calves, like the one girl was telling me, like the calves are like your second heart. And I'm diabetic, so I potentially have bad circulation in my feet anyway, right? And so just curling my toes and stretching my calves, almost pumping like a heartbeat with them, is pretty wild at how much it'll change how you feel, how your legs feel, how your feet feel quickly. It's pretty cool. That's funny.
Yeah, your calves are such a big, like such an important set of muscles to help propel you when you're walking, right?
Right.
It's amazing how much you use your calves and you don't really even think about it. So my bet, I mean, without doing a formal assessment of you, but my bet is that not only are your calves tight, but they're probably, not as strong as they used to be. So
Right.
I'm willing to bet that not only are you doing a stretching routine with your physical therapist, but you're probably doing also some strengthening through those calves too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's interesting because it's much better like the last week, because I kind of went and asked, and I'm like, hey, I don't feel like I'm improving fast enough. And she's like, don't be impatient. You've been here 5 times. You were on your back for 3 weeks. This is going to take more than what you're expecting, which is nice. And they don't let you off the hook by any, it wasn't like, so sit down and have a taco, you'll be fine. It wasn't anything like that. It was, they still beat me up every week in the nicest way possible, but it did make me feel good because I was a little worried, right? Like I felt like this should be going faster and it's not. But the stretching, I mean, like on the little stairs and there's a little incline where I do my calves, like half foot, half on, half off. It's like just a little tiny 45-degree board. And now, because for a while I was getting out of bed every day, feeling like I'd been at Disney the day before. I mean, my legs were just so tight. It was, terrible. And it's coming along, which is nice and encouraging.
That's great. Yeah,
All
and
right.
it might help to know that if as long as you're on the right strengthening program for you, that at the right intensity to where you're creating the right effect to your muscles. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks or maybe even a little bit longer to really notice change, right? So 5 therapy visits could, if you're going twice a week, that could mean 2 weeks altogether, but just starting out, you might not necessarily feel it, but then further down the line, you're going to notice a big change as long as you're on the right program.
Well, and it's hard too. And maybe this changes when you get older, but any physical activity I've ever done, it's always push yourself, go further, hit it, is lifting weights for football or, like trying to get my core right for golf or whatever. So it's always do 2 more, get 2 more, a little more, it's, whereas this is a much different, like, slow down. You need to, you could hurt yourself. I'm like, wow, I'm really that old. That's
well,
it's
no, it's more
different,
like,
right?
yeah, it's just different. Exactly. Really, working with a physical therapist, like I like to believe it's akin to working out in the presence of injury or working out in the presence of recovery from a sickness, right? So that's the thing that makes physical therapists special, is they help you get through injury or sickness, because your body's in a different state from when it was healthy, right? So we get you back to where you were healthy.
And they're awesome and encouraging. I'm just teasing that they torture me. It's just how it feels.
No, they torture you.
Yeah. So, okay, my last question for you is, so in your packed suitcase, what are your top 3 can't live without items?
Top 3 can't live without items. 1 is going to be some sort of recovery item. So I wish I had it with me. It's downstairs, but I have a small, thin foam roll. So if you think of a traditional foam roll, you're thinking of the ones that are like, this big in diameter. They're usually like 3 or 4 feet. I've got a smaller one, so it's like, here, I've got my little cup from Avengers Campus, but it's the same diameter as the. Oops.
I know it's hard. I always go the wrong way.
It's the same diameter as the cup, right? And it's like a foot long, but it's great for rolling out. It's great for doing some basic stretches. So that's one thing. What else? What's the biggest thing I put in my backpack or my suitcase? Packing cubes. Packing cubes are huge. They help to minimize the space that I use in my bag, and they also allow me to take a couple extra articles of clothing.
Packing cubes.
Yeah, you can find them on Amazon. They're so good, because then I'll take like 1 packing cube and it'll pack half of, or maybe even like, most of my clothes I need for a week at Disney, and then I'll take another packing cube and I'll put it in my backpack, and then I'll have the rest of my clothes. So yeah, and then third thing, I would say at least get another set of shoes. I love having 2 sets of shoes personally for me, 1 for the parks and 1 for the gym, because I'm one of the silly ones that likes to go to the gym while on vacation. But a second pair of shoes, like you said, Andrew, is a godsend when you're going 7. Yeah, when you're going 7 to 9 days.
You can feel the difference when you stand up on them.
Oh yeah, for sure. It feels like walking on clouds.
Oh yeah.
Andrew, you got anything?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I've used it before, this machine before, a TENS machine on my arm for like golfer's elbow and stuff. Is that something like, because I have bad knees, and so my calves really burn when we get done. Is that something good to like help get the blood moving, to put that TENS machine on your calves, just to like stimulate everything?
Yeah. So from
I'm
my
trying to figure out ways
understanding,
to get blood flow, I guess is what I'm getting at.
yeah, I think so TENS units, depending on the setting, can help a little bit with blood flow and circulation. They're traditionally, or they're most widely used for when you're recovering from pain. So the way TENS units work is they send electrical impulses on whatever part of your body that the pads are on, and they stimulate the nerves in that area to the point where you feel that tingling sensation from the TENS unit. You feel that more than you feel your pain. So I like to describe it as masking pain. That's really what it does. It tricks the nerves into feeling that tingling sensation. So because of the nature of TENS units, they help initially, but they don't usually provide that lasting effect.
Gotcha.
I think a better way to get more circulation into the area of question is to do some movement, whether or not that's like an active stretch that I have in my book, or if it's like your legs or your knees, it's something as simple as flexing and pointing your toes, bending your knee back and forth. Those more active movements as opposed
Mhm.
to a TENS unit, which is technically more passive. Those active
Okay.
movements tend to be a lot better to get that circulation.
Yeah, I still remember. Now this was 35 years ago. When I was catching, I had different stretches for my legs and stuff, and I've gone reverted back to doing those. That seems to help a lot. And then I've actually had, like, I think they call it blading. They move the blood around like
Boy,
it
I
looks
don't.
like a straight edge basically. And they kind of
Oh, and they
sculpt
kind
it.
of rub it onto your. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it hurts like he double hockey stick,
Sounds
but
terrible.
yeah.
when they're done though, it's like, wow, I can feel my, it helps move the blood around, but it hurts pretty good when they're doing it.
Yeah, and that type of treatment, it's not kind of going back to Karen there, because she had commented on a couple of things, but like tennis balls, lacrosse balls, foam rolls, which is what I mentioned earlier, blading, all of that are forms of what's called like a passive recovery treatment, which has its place. Like, don't get me wrong, that stuff, those types of treatments are definitely useful, especially if you're trying to feel a little bit better at the end of the day at Disney. Now, where do I put that in terms of like how do I rate that in comparison to getting on a walking program or a strengthening program? I would
Mhm.
put it below the walking and strengthening program, but I wouldn't
Okay.
cut it out altogether, right? I think it has its place for sure.
Okay.
What do you think of cupping?
Cupping, yeah, it's I put it along the same lines as blading and
Okay.
tennis ball, lacrosse ball. It definitely like it feels good for sure, and we've learned through research that a lot of these types of treatments alone are not as effective as if you did those treatments and followed them up with some sort of active exercise. So, for example, if we took cupping, a lot of people like what's really popular is to get cupping like along the shoulders or like the upper back, doing a cupping treatment and then following up with some specific exercises to those shoulders, like some overhead raises or some
Ah,
like prone
Gotcha.
tees, or following it up with an active exercise is a lot more effective to treat whatever you're trying to treat than cupping alone. And you could say the same thing for blading or using a tennis ball for massage. Same thing.
okay.
Cool.
This is awesome. And the cool thing is about this is I talk to you and I get motivated because it's not magic, right? Like, as much as we love magic here, it's not. It's real, and it takes work and effort, and you got to do it. And here's what I'm going to do. So we leave on I think the 13th, maybe the 14th, but I'm going to post a picture. I'm going to walk my dog every day between now and then.
I love
And
that.
I'm going to post a picture and tag you in it for some accountability, because otherwise I won't do it. My wife asks me every time, she says, "Do you want to walk the dog?" "No, I got to do this." I always find a good excuse, but I really need to get out, because if we do go to a park, I want to be able to enjoy it. Right. And
Yeah.
it's just better for me all around. I need to get moving. So if I don't do it, you guys can call me out. You can call me out. "Hey, where's that picture?" But I'll do that every day between now, and then I'll never do it again afterwards. But between now and Disney coming up, no, because what I have found for me is I am an absolute creature of habit, and if I get out of those habits, then they
Mhm.
disappear. Right? Like, even taking medicine. Like, if I have it in a certain spot and I take it every day at 7 a.m., it's no big deal. But if I miss it for 2 days, I might as well have never done it. So I need to get these habits going and stay in them. And my wife, if she listens to this, will love you just if you yell at me for it. So, all right, well, please tell us everything we can do. Tell us about the podcast, the Instagram, the book, every place we can find you and enjoy this and learn more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks again for having me, John. This is incredible. Thanks for having me back. So you can find me mainly at fitforthemagic.com. You can find everything you need there, including my book, Disney Ready, Your Pain Free Park Survival Guide, as well as where you can find me on Instagram at fit.forthemagic. I'm also doing my
Oops, sorry.
I'm also you're good. I'm also doing my podcast, Happily Ever Active. I'm on Spotify and on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts. I haven't posted an episode in the recent weeks, but I just did an interview last night with Lisa Dinoto Glassner on Wine and Dine, the Run Disney race weekend that
Oh,
happened a
nice.
couple weekends ago. So I'm really excited to release that. I also have another episode coming up with Derek Sitch on skincare at Disney, which honestly is very much applicable to guys as it is to gals. So there was a wealth of information on that episode. I can't wait to get that out to y'all.
Yeah, and if you're my, like, again, in my generation, my son, he is all about his skin, and he couldn't be any manlier, right? Like, we assume that skincare, because my wife's got a regime at night and she looks great, right? But my son, he knows more about cologne and about skincare products. I mean, he knows everything. And again, he, now he's athletic, so he has to get that from his mom. But you really should check out his book, and you can even work with Stephen, right? I mean, if they wanted to, I mean,
Right.
and who wouldn't be motivated by you to get fit, right? If nothing else, just for the parks. So yeah, I love Fit for the Magic. It's such a great name. I think it's amazing. So, but
Thank
yeah,
you. I
check him
appreciate it.
out. And thank you so much. It's really, I'm the one who's honored that you came back twice. I think if
Thanks
we
for
get,
coming.
we might have to get like smoking jackets for the third time, right? Because we've had, I think like SNL does on their 5-timers
Right.
club or whatever. Because I think you and one other person's been here twice. And so when we start getting in these big numbers, then we're going to have to do something special for it. And then,
Let me know. I'm looking forward to that.
and if you don't join us live each week, you should, because here comes some really good audio. But I'm going to put up on here real quickly the newsletter. I am now 3 weeks in a row on this. So if you're watching, scan that
Hey.
QR code, or you can head over to butmostlydisney.com and subscribe there and buy a t-shirt if you want. I'd really not making any money on those. But Chris, if you're still listening, please, Chris, so I had some copyright issues with my logo and selling things with that. So I've changed it. I don't want to make anybody mad. But I've changed all that, and that's all over, but mostly Disney as well. So, well, come back next week. If you're around listening, we have Tim Bananas Foster on from Celebrations Magazine. Maybe we'll get a
That's
top 10
awesome.
list going with him. Stephen, thanks again, buddy. I really appreciate you coming, man. You are welcome here every single week if you want.
Always
Thank
good
you, guys.
conversation.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great week.
Have a good night.